Joining us is Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. Welcome, Mr. Deputy Attorney General. Let's hear it straight from you. Tell us what's unfolding in Los Angeles factually and legally.
It's great to be here. Thank you very much. I mean, factually, what you have is a group of individuals who think it's okay to assault law enforcement members who are just doing their jobs. And for many days, we had the state and locals not caring one little bit. The mayor said, at the end of a protest, you may see confrontation. That is not true. What we saw were bricks being hurled at federal law enforcement officers. What we saw were bricks being dropped, cinder blocks being dropped off the tops of highways onto law enforcement. We saw firecrackers being literally lit up and shot towards federal law enforcement officers. That's not a confrontation at the end of a peaceful protest. That's assault. And we got no support. And so we called in the National Guard, as President Trump has every right to do. And you know what happened after that? What happened after that is that we saw begrudgingly, we saw state and local law enforcement do what they're supposed to do beforehand, which is actually arrest people who are committing crimes, impose curfews in areas where that was appropriate, to allow federal law enforcement to do their jobs. It sickens me to see elected officials talk about confrontations when what you really have is violence against federal law enforcement. But we're stopping it, and it's not happening, and we're doing everything we can to arrest every single person who does anything to assault or hurt a federal law enforcement officer.
Well, Mr. Dagg, like a good lawyer, you anticipated my next question, which is whether state and local law enforcement in California were doing their job of protecting the innocent public, whether they were cooperating with federal law enforcement, or whether it really was a necessity for the president to send in or to kind of take over where Gavin Newsom was not doing his job.
Of course it was. I mean, you were an assistant U.S. attorney. You know what it's like out there when you're literally just battling against individuals who want to assault and hurt federal law enforcement. And that's what we saw here. And for several days that it was happening, we got nothing. We got nothing out of leadership. And that's no reflection. That's no reflection of the L.A.P.D., who I assure you, almost to a man, wants to help us, but they weren't allowed to. And so we brought in the National Guard, we brought in the Marines, and it had an immediate effect. It had an immediate effect not only of stopping the outright violence against our law enforcement officers who were doing their jobs. By the way, note that not a single Governor Newsom, the mayor, they don't talk about laws being violated by President Trump or by the men that are out there doing their jobs. They don't talk about that. No, they don't. They don't concede that actually what is happening is that criminals are assaulting men and women just doing their jobs. And so what happened after we brought in the National Guard, when we brought in the Marines? Finally, state and local law enforcement said, okay, you know what? You are right. I don't want to say we shamed them into doing their jobs, but it's close to that. Because then we saw curfews imposed. We saw the L.A.P.D. being allowed to arrest individuals who were assaulting law enforcement. And so have we turned a corner? I really hope so. Only time will tell. But I can tell you this, that this Department of Justice, Attorney General Todd has said it over and over again, and it's true. We're not going to let the men and women that are out there doing their jobs have bricks thrown at them, be spit on, be punched, be kicked, without being held accountable, whether it's the state and locals that arrest them or whether it's the U.S. attorneys that are out there doing their jobs arresting them. They will be held accountable.
All right, before I let you go, many California cities consider themselves to be what they call sanctuary cities. I'm not sure a sanctuary for whom or from whom. I could have sworn that immigration was a uniquely federal issue.
You and I share the same belief. I mean, listen, I don't know. It's interesting that what we're doing, what President Trump is doing right now, is trying to keep America safe. And so the idea that there are these cities that are stopping their police officers, that are stopping the employees that work for them from doing anything to help us, anything from helping us. And by the way, that includes even responding to 911 calls at times. That's not, you hit the nail right on the head. That's not a sanctuary city. That's actually a violation of federal law. And you can see the Department of Justice has filed numerous lawsuits over the past few weeks, and there's more to come. We cannot stand for this as a country. We cannot stand for this because we have men and women out there every day putting their lives on the line. You talk about there's criticism because federal law enforcement are wearing masks to do their jobs. They don't want to wear masks. They're wearing masks because there's liberal, left-wing anarchists finding out where they live, finding out where their kids live, finding out where their wives work, and attacking them. And so that's all being done in part because there's state and locals that have laws that are called sanctuary city laws. But in the end, all it's doing is keeping federal law enforcement doing their jobs. And listen, President Trump said that's not going to happen. Attorney General Bondi said that's not going to happen. And we are doing everything we can every single day to guarantee that they do not have success in what they're doing, period.
Mr. Dagg, I once prosecuted someone for throwing a plastic cup of tea at a federal law enforcement officer and convicted her.
That's right.
So
that's
I'm right there with you. I am right there with you. More power to you. Thank you for joining us. Happy Father's Day. We'll see you soon.
Thank you very much. It was great being on the show and anytime. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Attorney General.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.